लेके आता है, उस पर ओनरशिप कर देता है। हम अपने शरीयत स्कॉलर्स पे वी रिलाई ऑन देम एंड स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन हमारे स्टैंडर्ड्स की हो चुकी है AOP के थ्रू। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Paper will be read by Mr. Muhammad Ayub, Head of Islamic Banking, Lebanon. He has recently retired from Lebanon. He has wrote many books on Islamic Banking and Finance.
Islamic banking and Islamic banking industry has developed into a notable segment of the global financial market over the last 3 decades. An Islamic market has been developed with a global character. However, Islamic banks' performance in achieving various socio-economic objectives is rather modest relative to the hopes attached to them in Islamic economic thought. While some scholars, particularly economists, still have doubts about prohibition of interest, many believe that Islamic finance is not really Islamic in substance. They are of the view that if opportunity cost of capital or time value of money is accepted in pricing the goods as Islamic banks do in Murabaha and leasing, they say that interest should also be accepted. Here, I will try to distinguish between first of all, interest is riba. Unanimity on riba prohibition, I need to say there is no one to deny that riba is not prohibited, but differences are there in interpretation. But now a consensus has been achieved, particularly keeping in view the principle given by the Holy Quran, وَإِن تُبْتُمْ فَلَكُمْ رُءُوسُ أَمْوَالِكُمْ لَا تَظْلِمُونَ وَلَا تُظْلَمُونَ, meaning that if you repent, then you can have your principal sum only. What does mean this? Any increase, as Amir Khalid was saying, any increase over the principle of loans and debts is riba, and that is interest. Now, a broader definition of riba, if I give that, riba includes any increase over and above the principal amount payable in the contract obligation that is not covered by a corresponding increase in labor, commodity, risk or expertise. Again I would say, any increase that is not covered by a corresponding increase in labor, commodity, risk or expertise. It means that all accruals should correspond to liability and taking risk, particularly I would say business risk. Interest or this definition of riba excludes the profit charge in trading and shirka, commission or service charge in ujra and vakala, and the retail charges and the rental charges in ijar. Now, among two forms of riba nasiya, riba fadl. Riba fadl is quality premium in exchange of fungible goods. Now, we have to distinguish between two types of products, Ukud Mawla and Ukud Mawla. I need to say commutative or non-commutative contracts. By sale of rupee or dollar or wheat now for an equal amount of rupee, dollar or wheat later is prohibited because it is a formula. Loan of rupee, dollar or wheat for later equal payment is encouraged. Rather it is encouraged because it is a non-commutative contract. Another important implication of revolve further is that delayed forward sales are permitted as long as money or currency is only one of the two considerations. In light of this definition, what are the Sharia guidelines? One, wrongful taking of other property is prohibited except by way of trading with mutual consent. While riba is prohibited, bear or trading is permitted, and mutual consent, certainty, clarity of the rights and obligation of the parties, and exchange for gain for both parties. Prohibition of riba and gambling in Holy Quran, and then prohibition of gharar in Sunnah. What is gharar? Gharar means trading in absolute risk. Then, besides the prohibition, there is encouragement of benevolence, transparency, and disclosure, purification of income, comprehensive and universal ethics, ethical approach, and documentation. What is gharar? Gharar means absolute uncertainty about the result of transaction, uncertainty about rights and liabilities of the parties. Therefore, sale of probable items whose existence or characters are not known, are not certain, which makes the trade similar to gambling, this is prohibited. Now, it is important to note that while the risk bearing and risk taking is allowed, trading and risk is prohibited. We have to distinguish between risk bearing, risk sharing, and risk transfer. The risk transfer is prohibited. That is why we say that the conventional insurance is prohibited because it transfers risk from one party to the other party. Now, what about time value of money or opportunity cost? There is no opportunity cost for money capital. However, period charge on capital and pricing decisions in both trade and leasing is allowed. That can be factored in murabaha, salam, and ijara. Salam is a forward sale, and murabaha is a credit sale. In leasing, even floating rates leases are allowed. When time is joined to property in valid exchange contracts, it carries a legitimate time value as part of transaction. So, we would say that when Quran says that any increase over the debt is prohibited, it does not mean that all gains to the principal are prohibited. No. We will have to differentiate between trading, loaning, leasing, and other businesses. Important Sharia maxim, al-kharaj al-zaman, meaning that one can have gain only if he is ready to bear the loss also, is the basis of Islamic finance. It means that the assumption of business risk is a precondition for acquisition of any profit on principal sum. This maxim has pervasive influences on Islamic finance. Any profit, rent, or return on loan is prohibited because the creditor has the guarantee of the amount, so all loans have to be pledgeless contracts. The AIA is the loans of fungible assets. The borrower reaps all benefits, so he must assume the risk of loss. In amana, agency, and pledge, the party holding the asset is not normally permitted to derive benefit, and so it does not bear the risk of loss. An important consideration here is that in Islamic finance, the owner of the asset has to bear the loss. It means the risk of the loss always stays with the owner. If this Islamic banking remains with the owner, and for example, in Shirka, capital that yields return must liable to business loss. In Mudarib cannot guarantee any profit, and in capital of the Abdul Mar cannot ask the Mudarib to bear the business loss. In credit or forward trading, the owner has to bear the loss as soon as the ownership transfers to the client. Liability to loss also transfers to the bank in Salam or to the client in Murabba. In Ijara, the lessor has to bear the risk of loss, and here again the maximum of jurisprudence al-Ujra wal-Zaman la taytamiyan, meaning that rent or wage and liability for loss do not coincide. It is very important to make distinguish between rent and interest. On the deposit side, we see that on current account holders, the depositors cannot get anything. Similarly, Islamic